Hey, good evening. It's John again. I'm here to play some Immaculate Grid. Had let's see, my game yesterday, I mixed up Nomar Garcia-Parra, Nolan Ryan. That's a first for me. It was the Red Sox were there too, and I messed up. That's all there was to the timed version. And then it was 200 strikeouts, which I usually struggle with. I was able to get the Rarity version, but no one's super great. They were all in the low double digits or high single digits, that kind of thing. Whatever. Let's move on. One cool thing I just saw on X was that the uh Immaculate Grid folks, Baseball Reference, they're doing like a year in review. So I saw what they did like the hardest and easiest grids and who the most common people selected were, like Jeter and Randy Johnson. Nolan Ryan is up there. It was fun little read. So recommend checking that out. If you get a chance, I'm gonna press refresh and hit go, and we'll get right into it. All right, Adam done. Let's see. I think Christian Guzman works here. Oh, that's right. He doesn't have an H. That's hurting the time. There it is. All right, and gotta be able to come with someone to line those shields. All right, 300 saves for the Reds. Lee Smith did play for the Reds. Bruce Sutter played for the Cardinals. I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat these though. And let's just go Joe Nathan here. How about Pete Rose? Had to have had a good season. Joe Mauer, maybe? Yes. Even though WAR underrates catchers. Pujols. Missed a minute. Christian Guzman with your different spelling of Christian. Christian. Oh well, it was like a minute five, I think. Yeah, I shouldn't have gone off on a tangent, but yeah. So Joe Mauer, yeah, he takes 35% there for the so that was probably among the highest there. Yeah. Um, but the reason I brought up Mauer was in my book, Baseball's Most Fun Frivolities, the one of my chapters is called The War on Catchers. It's basically the statistic wins above replacement or WAR. Uh, in my opinion, underrates catchers, and I try to put a little bit of data behind that. And the example I went to is just like Joe Mauer hit 365, led the league in on base percentage and slugging percentage in the 2009 season as a catcher, playing. If he didn't win a Gold Glove, at least Gold Glove-ish caliber defense, right? Joe Mauer was a very good defensive catcher in his day, and his WAR was not even top of the league. I was like, that should be one of the best seasons of all time, shouldn't it? And you look at it and like catchers um are just underrated overall. So that the just my chapter, I went through and tried to identify, hey, WAR does correlate on a team level. It correlates very closely to winning. So there has to be something here. They have to either be either I'm wrong, or the only other explanation is, catcher value is kind of distributed amongst other teammates. That was kind of what I tried to get at. So um anyway, I'm going to play the Rarity version. Let's see if we can do a little bit better on that. Yeah, I guess this one, and hit refresh, and away we go. Let's see here. Who are some sneakier people that I could there? How about let's do a Cy Seymour. That 1905 season is pretty legit. That's a nice black and white photo. Let's see here for the Twins. I think pretty sure Joe Cronin will work. He was mainly with the Red Sox, though. Walter Johnson will certainly work for the Senators. I gotta believe Goose Goslin will work or Heine Minush will work. Um, so those are all Senators I could use. Um, trying to think if there's any like really sneaky, surprising twins. I think Frank Viola, uh, MVP Zola Versalles. I'm not going to play him because he won an MVP 1965. But he's considered. In fact, Bob Costas just had a quote where he was just like, "Yeah, this is an example of a not great MVP pick who was on a championship team." But he actually led the league in WAR that year. He had 7.5. The Adam D. I'm blanking on how to say his last name, but he runs. I think he runs Immaculate Grid, or he's involved with Stat Ahead. He actually said, "Hey, this might have been the first nerd pick of all time for MVP." So I could go with him. Mickey Vernon, I'm pretty sure that will work. Um, Tony Oliva will probably work. Harmon Kilber will probably work. Carew will certainly work. Um, Talking myself into going Goose Goslin. That's got to work. So that's almost 8%. He's a order of magnitude higher than Cy Seymour, but still pretty good there. And then let's see for the Cardinals, we could go Frankie Fritch. We could go Rogers Hornsby, Dizzy Dean. Obviously, Musial will work. Pretty sure Inas Slaughter would work. Or Red Shadenist, if I'm saying that right. Cepeda will probably work. Torrey will certainly work. Roland, Edmonds, Pujols will all work. I skipped ahead there. McGee works. John Tudor works. Keith Hernandez will work for his MVP year. Pretty sure Lou Brock will work, although he's got a lower career WAR. So plenty of possible choices. Ooh, what about Triple Crown winner Joe Medwick? Continuing in the theme of black and white photos. He gets a full percent. Okay. I guess when you win a Triple Crown, it's tough to sneak under the radar. Okay, so 300 saves. I think for the Cardinals, the guy I'm thinking of would be Percival. Troy Percival. Briefly played for the Cardinals. He gets 2%. Pretty good start. For the Twins, I don't think Rick Aguilera gets there. Jeff Reardon will certainly work. And you've got Joe Nathan. I don't think Aguilera gets there though. I don't think Eddie Guardado gets there. He wasn't closer long enough. He had a couple 40 save seasons. Let's see. Gossage did not sneak in any time for either of these teams, nor did Bruce Sutter didn't play for either of these teams. Raleigh Fingers doesn't play for any of these teams. Houston Street, I don't think plays for either of these teams. Street is a good pick for the Angels, though. I think that was an old Immaculate Grid. So you'd want to play Street for the Angels, probably not as much for the A's. Well, actually, maybe for the A's too, because you got Eckersley and Fingers for the A's. So right now I've just got Jeff Reardon. And then for the Reds, Lee Smith was kind of a sneaky pick. He didn't play for the Reds that long. Lee Smith also would have worked here. So would Isringhausen would have worked, but I don't think Isringhausen works for either of these teams. I don't think Francisco Cordero works either. Aroldis Chapman certainly does work. Jansen's not going to work. Kimbrel's not going to work. Henke actually would have worked here. No, wait, did Henke get to 300? I think Henke did get to 300 actually. I don't think Doug Jones doesn't hit either of these teams. I don't think. Roberto Hernandez does not hit either of these teams. I'm scraping it here. Papelbon does not hit either of these teams. And so am I going Reardon and Chapman? Is there no one else? Let's see here. Well, yeah, I guess let's see how Reardon does. 14%. That might be the best. If there's three options with him and Joe Nathan and uh did I even have a third? I don't actually know if I had a third. But I think Nathan was 65%. So there's someone else maybe hanging out at 21%. I think I might invoke an exception because I know Aroldis Chapman is over 300 saves, and I think also he'll be the highest one. So I could play him, but that would absolutely wreck the rarity score. So maybe I do go with Lee Smith here, even though, and kind of on the basis that he also works down here. I'm just not coming up with anyone else, or maybe I should take a wild guess on like a Fernando Rodney or someone like that. I'm just trying to think of Reds. Oh, Randy Myers will work, and John Franco. Both of them would work. And so the question then is, of those two, I don't know how Lee Smith did, but Lee Smith might have been better than both of those actually. But who do I go with between Randy Myers and John Franco, who were swapped for one another between the Reds and the Mets in the late 80s? Randy Myers is on the Reds for the 1990 season. That's the Nasty Boys, along with Dibble and Charlton. So I think actually John Franco is going to be my pick. Let's see if that line of reasoning was correct. 16%. We'll be able to do a little math and maybe figure out if that was the right pick. All right, that was a lot of procrastination. What do we think of Jose Guillen here? Goes less than one. It's good to see. Otis Nixon played for the Expos and the Twins. Gets a full percent. And I'm going to go with Ron Vallone, even though he does sort of surprise me with how he goes. He goes 0.2. So 37, but I'm going to go ahead and say, no, I did not pick the most optimal people here. Because Chapman is the leader with 62%. And then John Franco's at 16%. So that would take you to 78%, which means the remaining he had to have been second. I guess let's just do a search for Cincinnati. Jeff Montgomery. I think I knew that. I think I have his rookie card. Actually, I didn't know Jeff Montgomery had 300 saves, so I'm not going to say I knew that. I think I do have his rookie card from the Reds. Francisco Cordero does work. I did not think he had 300 saves. Chapman, we got Todd Jones. Was not going to get that. Randy Myers, I said. Who the heck is that? Is this that looks like a Lee Smith. Who I got? That's Jeff Reardon. And that's everybody there. Twins, I said Nathan, Reardon, and who else? So yeah, we got Reardon. Whoever the heck this is. Fernando Rodney did work for the Twins. Joe Nathan. Todd Jones again. Oh, or is that no? Yeah, that's Todd Jones and then Ricky Aguilera. So Aguilera worked, and Todd Jones hits a bunch of teams that I did not have him on. And then I guess the Cardinals had six. We had Suter, we had Smith, Isringhausen, Percival. So that's four of them. Eckersley, that's five. And then Henke. I think I said everyone but Eckersley. Eckersley I knew, but okay. Well, not the best rarity score, and there was definitely room for improvement with these closers. I think I did hit. I think Percival probably was pretty close to optimal, but up here, man, I would say Todd Jones probably, and then here, well, actually maybe Todd Jones here and um, Jeff Montgomery here. I think that would be your optimal selection if you wanted to get a low rarity score, which I did not. So, well, 28's fine. I'm not gonna hate on myself too hard. These are this is kind of an esoteric category. Anyway, keep sharing your scores. And love seeing it. Love folks hitting subscribe, and we will be at it again tomorrow. Thanks a lot for playing. Peace.